definitely going to be this is probably going to be one heck of a show going on here. You should hear some of the pre-broadcast stuff going on.
It's great. Our show prep is delight. Anyways, today we have I need something to drink. No, just kidding. Skip the Gym is the name of this lip gloss made by Almay. Skip the Gym because there's none to go to anyways.
Well, you should skip it anyway. I always said the one of the worst places to get in good physical shape is go to a gym.
It's like a metallic kind of color. It's really nice. I like it. I dig it. It has this cute little wrapper on it. Makes it springish.
There you go.
I know. Now I want to go hiking.
Well, there you go.
I should do that. Let's see.
I'll sing you my song.
No. Offended me.
Oh, there's that funky slide guitar music coming in. Signaling in a
Feisty Friday.
How much slower do I have to go? I'm rolling it out, and then in your life.
Anyone that would like me to duct tape his mouth shut now, I know we just started about 30 seconds ago, but I'm gladly willing to do it as soon as you would like. Just give me the word. I'm just kidding. It's Feisty Friday. We're ready.
Yes.
I think everyone's officially losing it. I know I am.
I think she took my. I did it, and I should have recorded this a couple years ago, and it was, and I probably should start writing some more parody songs again, because I'm going to do that.
You should. That'd be fun.
I did the last one I did was a parody of "A Girl in My Country" song by Maddie and Tay, which was a big country hit about 2 years ago. So I rewrote a parody of it, and I sang it to this one over here.
It was great. It was beautiful. I loved it.
It is pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna have to practice my guitar playing stuff. So I
didn't know you knew how to play guitar.
Well, if I can play a few chords on it.
Roy just knows how to do everything. Is there anything you don't know how to do? Other than stop talking? When you should? I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, I would think that would be a prerequisite for being a radio talk show host.
True. Very true.
Because you've got to be saying something or people are turning the dials and going somewhere else. They like to hear noise coming out of their speakers. Not like silence, like we just heard.
Anyways, I'm just kidding. It was good. I want you to play it, but not yet.
I got to roll back into it because they didn't. I don't know if I wrote it down, but I can remember most of it. I'm
curious to see what kind of feedback you get from it from other people.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for the tomatoes and vegetables and stuff getting thrown at me.
Not the vegetables.
What's it? Well, I guess tomato is considered a fruit, isn't it? Yes.
Well, I said, people need to say the vegetables. Don't waste them on you. I mean, the tomatoes, they come and go. Vegetables are good, and they might hurt when they hit you. Anyways. Wow. I'm so glad it's Friday. It's not like you can go and do anything on the weekend.
Yeah,
anyway,
like what?
So it's like
yeah, like what is a big anticipation on what are you going to do on the weekend? Although really, for me, I mean, this has not affected 98.7% of my life because I am not wrapped up in the little 3x5 world that everybody is, or the TV screen, or this, that, and the other, da-da-da-da-da. So, I mean, other than the races getting canceled, really, for me, there's really been nothing too much that's affected than my normal daily activities, lives, things I do. Now, if this thing keeps going on, it could, because, I mean, if we do get an economy crash, but they just, finally we got the Senate and the House just passed and Trump signed it today, like boom, 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 signed the $2.2 trillion stimulus package, bailout, whatever you want to call it. Now, that probably will get things moving, but we'll have to see what the long-term damage is of that, or long-term effects, let's put it that way, of that, because we don't have the money. We either got to print it, which devalues the currency, or we got to borrow it from China or anywhere else, which would kind of be really ironic if we did that. So we'll see how it all works out, how it all plays out, but I hope that we're really going to be back on the track of getting the country back to...
Well, he said they're going to open... What do you think the likelihood is that he's going to lift it in April, like you said?
I think it's very, very likely. I even think it's likely that we might even beat the April 12th date that he set the target at.
You think so?
I think so. Because we're 3 days we're 3 days left on the 15-day national recommendation of doing that. So far, only 27 of the 50 states, just a little more than half, have put, restrictions, social distancing, or whatever stupid term they want to come up with on this stuff of that. I did notice, I was in the grocery store today, and I noticed they had the little X's 6 feet apart, and most people were just like ignoring them and standing in line like normal on this.
See, but I think at least if somebody went out of their way to put those X's on the floor, I mean, at least kind of abide by it.
I mean,
why not? It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, I do
you know?
think people are kind of they weren't like necessarily packed, but I mean,
But people get mad. I'm telling you, when I was at
Nobody was
Stater
mad
Brothers
at-
one day, and
Yeah,
this
you were
girl was screaming at the chick behind her, like about to rip her head off. And this was when it all kind of started, and it was the beginning of it. So everybody was touchy. And I mean,
yeah.
maybe she had someone at home that was really sick, or maybe she lost someone during it. So I get where you would be upset. But I mean, to make such a there was cashiers that were like kind of stopping what they were doing to make sure she goes ballistic. They're going to stop her. Like, it was intense.
It was, and
I mean, let's not be that crazy.
It's
but
a good thing
ask for space.
It's a good thing you mentioned the screaming part because that was, and we're going to have Dr. Kelly Victory on at the bottom of the hour. Yes, Screaming Goat.
I love it.
This is at the House of Representatives floor. This is a representative. What the heck's her name? Haley Stevens, Democrat, I think, from Michigan. This is, and you talk about. I don't remember the hysteria from a member of Congress on the floor. It probably has been one, but we haven't had one in a while. But go ahead and play this clip that just that happened today on the House floor.
Our students gone from their beloved classrooms and classmates. We beam for our manufacturers who have no... I request 30 more seconds because I rise before you adorning these...
The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Not for personal tension, but to encourage you to take
Gentlemen,
these
gentlelady,
for every American who is scared right now. To the families...
The gentlelady will suspend. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized. The gentlelady is out of order.
I yield the gentlelady 30 additional seconds.
The gentlewoman is recognized for an additional 30 seconds.
Cause of their servitude, sharing in the profession with those who have not come before you. Similar times of trying medical need, wars and flus past. You will see darkness, you will be pushed, and our society needs you to stand together at this time. Our country loves you. To our doctors and our nurses, I wear these latex
The gentlelady's time has expired. The gentleman from Maryland is reserved. The gentleman from Texas is recognized. The gentleman from Texas is now recognized.
Okay.
The gentlelady from Michigan is out of order.
Yeah, she's still going on as they're hauling her off the Senate floor. I think the sergeant at arms.
The gentlelady from Michigan is out of order.
That they're doing that. But
The
that,
gentlelady
Why?
from Michigan
I don't-
is no
yeah,
longer-
can you make
don't
hides
get
her
it.
hair? Yes, that's what I was going to
I
ask
thought
you.
maybe, am I missing I mean, I'm not really like the brightest crown in the box. I can say that. But I'm like, what the hell is going on? I mean, I dig the gloves. They're cute pink. That's kind of all I really got from that. Why would you not listen?
Yeah,
When he says, shut up, stop talking. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
I don't get where she's...
yeah.
I mean,
I
Let's
didn't
talk
get,
like a human.
I didn't get the absolute hysterics
Yeah.
over
she's
that,
very
or what her
upset.
point was. Something about healthcare workers, and yeah.
I mean,
she
good
was-
for her for shouting out, good job to the healthcare people.
Yeah, but
But then it's like it was almost insulting because she's screaming it. So I'm like, are you mad or are we happy? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Right, exactly.
I've been locked inside for too long.
I'm glad you had the same reaction as me. I'm like,
I always have that reaction.
You can't. I mean, that was like unbelievable. It wasn't like, so we need to support our healthcare workers. If she had a legit point or something, maybe she did have a concern. But to just go stark raving,
that was crazy.
Insane, mad, hysterical, and nobody even knows what the heck you're talking about. And then, I don't know.
But that's when people get so upset, they just start blurting stuff out. They kind of lose their whole train of thought because their mind's going quicker than their mouth. But that's when she should have stopped talking and like gathered her thoughts again. It was the pink gloves that threw her off. I mean, it threw me off. That's all I could focus on.
And pink gloves.
That's all I could focus on.
They affect your brain.
And I mean, she kept saying for nobody to be scared, but now I'm scared of her. So that's
I am too. I'd hate to encounter that woman
I don't even know.
In the store or something, or that something sets her off like that. On that, man, you have a legitimate right to be scared of somebody like that.
Dan writes in, people please stay 6 feet away from each other when shopping. Susan writes in, crazy lady. Patty, hi. Say hi to Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Hope you're feeling better.
Hope you're feeling better, Patty.
I'm sure she is. She is. Tough cookie, that woman is. She is.
How's she doing, really? I mean, right. Is she out of the hospital or?
She was out of the hospital when
she was out. Okay, I didn't know if it was like a serious, or that good news on that front of that. A little bit of conspiracy theory, and we got this video I got the video sent in to me last night.
I'm excited about this. I don't know why.
And
it's a trip.
So, and this one, I didn't really watch it that much, and I watched a little bit more of that. Can you explain or set this up, or what's going on here? Are they trying to say that this is like a conspiracy, or this was?
I think they're saying that this. Is it a television show or a movie? No, it's like a series on Netflix.
Yes, it's
that predicted the coronavirus happening back in 2018. I think it
as
released.
A man-made epidemic, or to kill 90%.
But my thought is with out there in that country, I mean, this is to them something normal. Like what's normal out here that goes around, like flu-wise, just the flu, I guess.
Right.
Is something that's normal to. I think the coronavirus might be normal to them out there, not this exact strain, but I think that coronavirus is more known out there than here. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, because I know we've heard it here, but I think out there it's more focused.
Well,
it happens more.
There's been many mutations. Coronavirus is just like a generic term of it, and there's many, like this is coronavirus 19.
So I think what they did was they took something that happens out there a lot and often and is well known, and they made a show around it on this particular episode. And then it hits out here at I think it's just really just a timing thing. But everybody's kind of spinning it to be a prediction.
Where was this video made? Or where did it originate from?
I have no idea, but I know it's ran on Netflix.
I mean, because it has, Asian writing or talking.
I think it's from China, right? Or
South Korea. Okay.
That's what
South Korea, which actually put the clamps on this thing probably dealt with this the most, or so far right now. I mean, they put the clamps on this coronavirus real quick. So play the clip. This is a YouTube clip of this. When was this? 2018?
But it really is. It's I don't know. 2018 was when it came out, but 2019, 2 days ago, it hit media.
Approximately 53 minutes into the episode, it shows a doctor handling over a file to another character. The doctor tells her, "We must do more research, but it looks like a mutant coronavirus." The concerned recipient replies, "Corona? Then MERS, SARS, the common flu. They all fall in the same gene family with the same gene information," the doctor says. The coronavirus attacks the respiratory system. During the 2015 MERS epidemic, the mortality rate was over 25%. The agent then asks, "But what's not serious enough to be used as a weapon? Am I wrong?" The doctor says, "Like I said, this is a mutant virus. Someone tweaked it to increase the mortality rate to 90%. Once Netflix subscribers got wind of the scene, it didn't take long for them to voice concerns. On Twitter, one person said, "In the drama My Secret Terriers that was released in 2018, Unique Sunju was among the cast. They talked in details about the coronavirus. I had goosebumps." The second was equally freaked out. Just gonna leave this here, but I'm massively spooked. This series, My Secret Terriers, is on Netflix but came out 2 years ago and talks about the coronavirus we're going through right now. Another fan added, conversation about coronavirus on a 2018 Netflix series called The Secret Terriers 2 years ago. What's going on? While a fourth weighed in, why is no one talking about this TV show that came out in 2018, My Secret Terriers, that talks about the we're going through right now? However, it's worth noting the series doesn't explicitly address the COVID-19 outbreak. The term coronavirus is one that has been around for years and is a group of related viruses in birds and mammals. Just so you know, My Secret Terriers is available to stream on Netflix right now.
Okay, so that ought to just get the conspiracy
That breaks
theories.
it down, yeah.
Yes, rolling on that.
See, but I think that it's just out there. It's just normal, and that they were filming an episode. Maybe coronavirus happens out there more, so that's just kind of what they went with.
And I want to talk a little bit about this because they mentioned MERS and SARS, and that came up at the press conferences and reports
Doesn't it? Yeah,
of that, which was deadly. But like they said, it mutated. Well, if I'm understanding Fiduci, the sawed-off guy up there, of that, he says it's not mutating on that and that, which is a good thing because it doesn't look like it's changing or whatever. But we're watching it. Anything like that. So that's a little bit different. But that was one of the first things that came out, which is kind of maybe somebody was referencing this or had remembered watching this. Because when the coronavirus, Chinese virus, as it was termed when we first at the first of the year, and major news outlets were using that term. And that's what, people were saying, well, or was the Chinese using it as a weapon, yada, yada, da, 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 da. So, again, it's kind of ironic that this was made in 2018,
Right.
2 years before that, talking about that actually.
But I mean, do you think that it was? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I-
We haven't gotten Roy's thought on any of this.
I don't. I mean, like I say, I try to stay off the conspiracy theory train of running down through that. And it doesn't appear to be like that because look at that Professor Ferguson, which got everybody all up in arms about that with the report that 500,000 people in the UK were, his projection was going to die and 2.2 million in the United States. And he just, the other day he revised that figure in the UK down to 20,000. That's a 25-1 cut from his original estimate. And that's what was getting everybody panicked.
Right.
And and then we started the shutdowns of this, and then he's saying, well, da, da, da. Again, that's like saying if you did nothing, or if you actually almost, maybe not quite to this, or maybe this is a little exaggeration, but to get to them numbers, you would almost have to be injecting coronavirus into everybody and all that, because there's, in most cases, most people are not going to die over coronavirus. Now, the
Right.
death rate is a little higher in terms of percentage. Instead of the 0.1% in the normal flu, it's like 0.5% in this. But what was it, 20% death rate in MARS and SARS and all this, and the I think the 1918 Spanish flu, it was 50%, which were much more, which appear at this point were much more dangerous. And SARS and MERS were in in the last decade or so here. So there might be a lot of deaths, and there is pause, and there is a legitimate concern about COVID-19. There's probably 2 or 3 people walking the earth, but I mean, even of that, and I have always, I've been over the camp, like Dr. Victory and stuff, that, I think we're way overreacting, and none other than Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York 2 days ago was saying we got to lock down, do this, da, 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 da. And then yesterday in a press conference he says, well, maybe we've been overreacting to this stuff too, and toning it down. You hear Trump, we got to get people back to work, targeting April 12th as that. Now I was listening to fair-minded civil rights attorney Leo Terrell from down in L.A., and he had an interesting point. Somebody asked him a legal question or his opinion on it, and he said, what if the federal government mandated everybody, no lockdowns, canceled out Gavin Newsom's, whatever, the New York stuff altogether? And he said, yeah, that would be a very interesting constitutional question. And he said, "You know what? I think Trump would win that, or anybody who was president, or he said the federal government would win that because because of the supremacy clause in the Constitution, and they're higher than that. And if they declared it no, everybody's free to move. It was his opinion of that he would that the federal government would win that case. So who knows? But Gavin Newsom was on the press conference today, saying, we're cooperating. He says there hasn't been a thing that I haven't asked Trump for that he hasn't delivered on this. We've got the ship that came in today with 1,000, I think, hospital beds docked in Long Beach. And they're not specifically going to do coronavirus, but in case our hospitals get overwhelmed, they can ship patients on normal medical stuff over to the Mercy ship that's docked there. New York's got one. The one on the East Coast went to New York City. So we're putting plans in place to take care of this. And I think, and we'll get Dr. Kelly's reaction to all the latest developments coming up. But I see the signs of some irrationality coming to this whole issue. What do you think?
I'm tired of talking about it. No, I'm just tired of it. I want it just to go away. And I know it's not that simple, but a part of me, honestly, and I don't want to offend anyone when I say this, and I do take it very seriously, but I almost kind of want to go and get myself sick so that way I can deal with it now while I'm healthy. And I can handle it then when it comes back. Because I can guarantee you in like 20 years, 30 years, God hope I saw him on this planet Earth, it's probably going to come back.
Oh, well.
Like, I don't think.
Corona,
and it's going to be like the same thing.
Coronavirus.
But I hope we just handle it different. I feel like everybody panicked.
Yes.
Everything went in shutdown mode. Everybody freaked the hell out. I mean, it's a very serious thing. Don't get me wrong.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
You were freaking out on the inside. Don't act like you weren't. I saw you over here in fetal position. Just kidding. I'm trying to say it serious. I couldn't nail it. Anyways, I'm so tired of it.
Yes,
and I needs to go back.
Again, I've said it, and who was on, or I can't remember who was on with me yesterday. That the classic, I said this is a case of Melissa San Murray. Same thing, and I've said it to and Dr. Kelly Victory, I think, on Wednesday. This is a classic case of overreacting where we shouldn't and underreacting where we should. We should have and it's been, they had these cases in December. When I told you, and go back and look, when I had the cough.
No, I know.
When I had the cough. And
Roy, here, for people that don't know what the hell you're talking about, Roy swears he's already had it.
Yes. They had this, they knew it came in because they knew it, they've had it in December in New York City. That's what they were talking about in January and stuff. And de Blasio, the mayor, was saying, oh, nothing's going wrong. They had the Chinese, whatever, New Year's parade or whatever. Oh, there's nothing to worry about, da-da-da-da-da. Well, no, there was this, and the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. And this is the greatest argument for not having a centralized government or letting a bureaucracy get big. They were saying the same thing. That until it started getting serious amongst the older population and those who were sick of that, and we started seeing the problems with it, they're saying, oh, there's no problem with this. No, there was a pause for concern. There was, if you would have studied the models right and looked at it like South Korea did and got a handle on it quickly, voila, we could, how many lives we could save. But look at again, we've got to look at the long-term effects, and like you're saying, of that. And like I said, Pop got it for me. He was like, it took him like 2 weeks to get, he didn't even come down, which is like unusual. He hardly ever, and I mean, like for 2 or 3 days, he didn't even come down here. And I mean, he's in the high-risk category of that. And like I said, you got the fever right after that, weren't feeling well. All that.
I just didn't want to come to work.
So, I'm thoroughly convinced, dimes to donuts, I had that back at the first of the year when it came in, because that's what I had that dry cough that would not go away, and and that's how it affects most people. Like I said, I noticed it for like a day, like as just not. I was only 98.7%, not 100% of my effervescent self. But after like 24 hours, it was like nothing but that stupid dry. Like you could tell. I mean, and I could like not cough for like 3 or 4 hours. And I mean, I swear I'd come in here, he'd play the music, and boom, here it comes. I mean, it was like at 5 o'clock every day. The
Yeah,
stupid
you
thing
were
come-
getting that.
the stupid thing came back for a week. I mean, I could time it. I knew exactly when it was going to come back. It would come on just as soon as I get ready to go. Yeah, the music, the slide guitar music goes off. Here we go, and I'm going.
Chuck writes in, sad to see so many losing their jobs and businesses.
Yes.
Owners wondering if their business will survive.
That's the biggest
It
concern.
is very heartbreaking.
You know, and I don't know if you,
Especially
but
when you know them on like
you
a
should-
personal level. And
if you
everything.
if you didn't listen, especially you and everybody, that if you didn't listen to the show last night,
Excuse you.
listen to the last half hour. Melissa Ann Murray
Oh, I love Melissa.
tell her compelling story about, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at the long-term damage. And she said, now her son, passed away about a year, about just 3 or 4 months ago. No, about a year, 6
About 8,
months
9
ago.
months ago?
Yes. He did not, there was no coronavirus to that, but he had a debilitating disease. But she went on to explain how our medical system and stuff, if we weren't economically powerful and rich as we are now, her son would have never made. Her son was not supposed to make it to 8. I think he made it to 25. And she said, now if he would have made it, if now the life expectancy with the same condition he had is now at least doubled on that for what they have learned off of patients like her son,
Right.
that did that. But like I said, if there was a child in another country, they would have been lucky to see 8 years old because they didn't have the resources, the wealth, the knowledge, the training, and everything we have in the best healthcare system in the world. And that's why I don't want to see it wrecked with a government takeover. You see what the CDC did? They were like, oh, no, nothing's going on, nothing to worry about, until it started going haywire. And then they said, oh, they're running around like the chickens with their heads cut off. And then, like I say, then here comes the overreaction to the underreaction for what they should have been paying attention to. And that's what we need to focus on in that. And that's why I say, in most of these cases, don't panic. It's like hoarding everything from tampons to toilet paper. Once you hear
Found tampons.
it's good.
God.
I'm glad.
I had to switch the damn subject. I'm sorry. Now everybody knows.
Nothing meaner than a woman with no tampons.
Tell me about it.
But no, but again, hopefully in the next time or when this comes around, it will settle down. Now, when we will find ourselves for some reason, like Trump said, economy was humming along, everything was going great, guns, we were just da-da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden, boom, we got this, and something like this will happen again at some time, at some point, like you said, maybe 30 years
I'm going to
from
have
now.
a shelter filled with toilet paper,
Maybe,
tampons,
but
food, paper towels. I'm ready. Bring it.
And you should. I mean, this is a good deal. This is a good lesson.
But nobody in life should have to be prepared like that. I mean,
Yes, you should.
no. I mean, yes, you should be prepared, but nobody should ever have to go make sure they have enough toilet paper.
Yes.
Because they're going to be looking for the next 3 weeks, and they're not going to get their hands on a damn roll. That's
Yeah.
pathetic.
Exactly.
And they wonder why everyone's so grumpy.
You should keep a stock of essential supplies and food and stuff that you can survive.
Or people need to stop being so greedy. Stop being
Yes.
greedy, people.
And so you don't
Roy.
have to panic when that's. I'm
Sean.
not panicking.
Sean, how much toilet paper you hoarding over there in the studio?
Yeah,
Oh,
just
they
like
do.
they were talking about on that last show we had on the numbers in England. The first they predicted all this massive, 500,000 deaths.
Dr.
in England.
Neil
Now their-
Ferguson.
Now their prediction is about 20,000.
Yes, and probably lower than that when it all.
You know what
goes
I want to
through
talk about that we didn't go
1
to?
minute, guys. 1 minute.
quickly.
The Grumpy Cat. The new Grumpy Cat. If this isn't a conspiracy, I don't know what is. Jess, if you can throw up the picture. Have you seen it? The new
No.
internet sensation
Where
that's
is he?
taking over?
There-
Why? Oh, the hell, man?
No, that looks like Scary
I
Cat.
know.
No, that is not a replacement for Grumpy Cat.
They're saying that, look at that.
That's
That's a
Satan's
little
cat.
better.
That is a psycho
30
cat.
seconds.
Yeah.
30
That's
seconds.
that's a
30
nutty
seconds.
cat. No, that is not a sufficient. That one's a little better.
No,
that one's a little bit. No, that cat is not. That doesn't capture the great cat that was.
All right, guys, here we go.
Grumpy cat.
Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today. IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program.
Coming in, signifies the end of the week, which we call
Feisty
I
Friday.
figured I would let you try it, so I had to still wait a couple of seconds on that.
Well, I didn't know what was going on. I've been locked inside for too long, Roy. Give me a break, dude. With 4 kids.
Some people would say you don't know what's going on all the time, but that wouldn't be me.
Wow. Anyways, we're
gonna have Dr. Kelly Victory on that. We went through some of the stuff. We went through the screaming nutcase that was on there. You got another one of your pull up the replacement for the grumpy cat again if you can for a second or two.
internet sensation.
Yeah, I don't.
We're talking about something other than the virus because I can't talk about it.
This is not a replacement.
No, go to the psycho, the one where he looks all possessed.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's like that's what nightmares are.
No,
that one's cute.
That one's fairly good. Yeah, that one's fairly decent. That
one.
Yeah,
no, go back down.
Yeah.
Go down one more. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's not even a cat.
That's not Grumpy
That's
Cat.
so scary.
Why do we have to replace Grumpy Cat?
Because he died.
Well, yeah, but he's still there. The picture's still there.
I know, but
Grumpy Cat.
they're saying that
Grumpy Cat should be retired.
But these cats, like just the breed, and I apologize for anyone I might be offending that might breed them or something, but they're like so scary looking.
Yeah,
cats should have hair.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They're wrinkled. Oh, is that why you're seeing their skin wrinkled up like that? That's their skin.
It's just freaky looking.
But yeah, that's not a replacement for Grumpy Cat.
It's not, but he's an internet sensation right now. Everybody's loving this cat. I mean, he's different, and so I get it. I mean, kind of like our show, we're different, so that's why everyone should love us a little bit more. But
in my book, he's not going to replace Grumpy Cat.
He's saying he's the new Grumpy Cat. I don't know. I'm just saying what I read. Just saying what I read.
No. That one isn't. That one is that. I'm gonna nix that one. That does not replace Grumpy Cat.
Well, I'll go ahead and write them and let them know that
Yes.
you disapprove that.
That'll eliminate that problem.
And we need to find a new replacement for that.
Again, to give us an update, because, man, since we've had her on the last time, boy, things have been changed. Man, do we get a lot of new updates, concerns, clarifications, new information, even some of that. Some of it, I think, is going to stamp what our latest guest has been telling you for a long time. She's been giving you the real, as we say, facts, not fear on this whole thing. And like I've said, this whole COVID-19 thing has been a classic case of overreaction to the things we shouldn't have and underreaction to things we have. But Dr. Kelly Victory, welcome back to the show with Stephanie and Roy.
Hey, great to be back with you guys.
Hello.
So I'm sure you heard the numbers on that. The Professor Neil Ferguson study that predicted, and everybody just flew off the deep end. What was it, a week or two when it came out? The 2.2 million in the United States were going to die of coronavirus was his projection, and 500,000 in the UK. And he revised that number down to 20,000, and wow. And on top of that, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, coming out and saying, after 2 days ago, saying we got to lock down, do this, saying, well, you know what, we might have to start opening things up and looking at this and stuff. But what's your take on all this, Dr. Kelly?
Well, you're exactly right, Roy, that much of our response, unfortunately, not only in the United States, incidentally, but globally, was based on this report that came out from the Imperial College of London. And while Neil Ferguson is a very good epidemiologist, no doubt, all of those studies that epidemiologists rely on or that they create are based on highly theoretical predictive models for what is going to happen in a particular outbreak. And so there's no way of really knowing. There's many factors that are unknown at the time that they produce their models. And my criticism of their report and of his initial predictions is that I don't feel that he put them in the correct context. And without contextualizing them and saying, look, it could be as bad as, or as, minimal as, then people overreacted. And so, as you pointed out, Neil Ferguson said at the time that there could well be upwards of, 500,000 people impacted in Great Britain with 250,000 deaths. He was predicting upwards of, 2 million deaths in the United States. And we aren't seeing anything like that, which is what I had suggested from the very beginning, that these theoretical models are not correct, that they are based on data points that we don't yet know. And frankly, I think it was a far overreach in terms of their predictions, and it set off, unfortunately, what is going to turn out to be cataclysmic overreach and changes in what our government chose to do with regard to shutting things down and sending us into an economic tailspin.
And none other than yesterday's press conference at the White House, Dr. Birx almost reiterated the same thing. And she said, now that we have real world, statistics and cases to look at, not only in the United States, China, South Korea, Japan, everywhere else, she said, she's almost reiterated, as I recall, exactly the same thing. All these wild predictions are nowhere near what's happening on the ground today and what we're seeing. So again, like the information and the you've been bringing out on our show and others of this, and I'm glad it was out there, because again, like we have it in the news business, if it bleeds, it leads. And if you come out with 2.2 million are going to, could possibly die in the United States, or 500, 250,000 or whatever in Britain, man, that's just going to stop the presses and send everybody into a panic, which it did, which was unnecessarily if they would have put it into the context of if this set of circumstances happens, but the most likely scenario is this.
And then give it some tincture of time in to see what's actually happening. With all due respect, even Dr. Fauci, who is an epidemiologist and a physician himself, but they are not clinicians. They are researchers. They're undoubtedly very bright people, Roy, but Dr. Fauci wouldn't know which end of the stethoscope to put in his ears. He doesn't actually see patients or treat patients. And so, unfortunately, when you sit and look at just predictive models and kind of crank them out from a mathematical perspective, things can look very, very scary. Sometimes it takes actually sitting back and saying, let's look at what's really happening clinically here. What are we actually seeing with the cases? And we don't know. There's a lot we don't know about this particular coronavirus. But we certainly could look at previous episodes of coronavirus outbreak, take the SARS epidemic back in 2003, or the MERS epidemic, that Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome, back in 2014, or H1N1. We had a huge outbreak in 2008 and 9. Look at those and see how they acted, and then try to actually say, what can we learn from those? Fortunately, we are not seeing anywhere near the types of fatalities that they had predicted. I suspect when it all comes down to it that we will find out that coronavirus, this particular one, that COVID-19, is actually more contagious than they thought, but less deadly. So what I mean by that is I think when in the final analysis, which we won't likely know for another 12 months, I think we'll find out that far more people were exposed to it, had it, recovered from it, and thankfully have antibodies to it, and that the death toll is nowhere near what the initial predictions were.
Two things Fauci said, I think yesterday, that I think it needs to be exploring. He said, one thing, he said, watch out, or said what we're looking at and studying is the rebound effect if it comes back in the next, or does that. But if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he said this virus does not look like it's mutating itself and getting dangerous or like that on the flip side. What's your take on that?
Well, all viruses, Roy, will mutate. All of them have the capacity to change and to adapt. Coronaviruses happen to be very savvy at it. They happen to be very good at mutating. That said, fortunately for nature and fortunately for us, most viruses, as they mutate, don't mutate to become stronger. They end up mutating and ultimately becoming weaker, and that's a good thing. Now, I suspect even with this particular coronavirus, there are undoubtedly multiple strains out there. I am guessing that the strain that impacted Italy is a quite different one than the one we are seeing predominantly here in the United States. And I suspect that contributes to the increased mortality rate that we're seeing in Italy. That, in addition to the fact that the Italians who were hit were of a predominantly older age group, most of them over the age of 70 and many over the age of 80, as well as the fact that there's a high percentage of folks who smoke there. So I think that those all contributed, but I'm guessing that there was a different strain. Likewise, we may find out that there's a very different strain that's impacting those folks in New York City, in Elmhurst in particular, Elmhurst being New York, being the epicenter of the Chinese population of New York City. So there may well be some different strains out there, but the good thing is most times when viruses mutate to different strains, they tend to become less lethal rather than more lethal.
We've all heard this, flattening the curve, and we've got a lot of, little mathematical lessons, which probably people needed to be updated on top of that. But if I heard Dr. Birx yesterday right, she said, in New York, as the cases are starting to flatten out, we're not seeing a big increase of that. Well, if you're going on the curve theory, if we're not seeing the big upslope or what of cases coming in, well, then that means we might be hitting that top of the curve and starting to plateau back down on that, which kind of seems like the evidence that's coming out. Why Dr. Ferguson is by a factor of 25 times, I think, reducing his projections now. Which, am I out in left field, or what do you say?
No, I do think that we are, to use the common vernacular right now, flattening the curve. Initially, as recently as a week ago, less than a week ago, we were seeing a doubling of hospitalizations every 2 days. Now we're seeing a doubling every almost 5 days. It's 4.7 days now. So clearly the number of people needing to be hospitalized seems to be dipping down. And that can be as a result of a number of things. Number one, it may be because actually the number of cases and severe cases are starting to dip off. It may also be, Roy, because people are starting to understand many of these folks can be managed at home. Not everybody needs to be in the hospital. Not everyone needs to be in the ICU. Who are the people who can be managed at home? And we're starting to implement some of the drug interventions, namely the use of chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine and Zithromax to treat some of these people earlier to keep them out of the ICU. When we think that people are starting to develop severe symptoms, we're using some of the preliminary drug studies, or drug interventions, I should say. They have not well been studied, but we are starting to use them based on some preliminary reports that they can be very effective, and we may be seeing a decrease in the hospitalizations as a result of that as well.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that, and then when you see, like you said, okay, the hospitalization rate was doubling every 2 days, and now it's doing that. That goes in. That exponential rate is now starting to tail off in the over on that, and I imagine I imagine that's what Governor Andrew Cuomo was seeing, why he made the big turnaround from Tuesday to Thursday of, we got to lock this whole state down and to, you know what, we got to start looking at the long-term damage and the long-term effects of this, and maybe we need to start opening things back up.
Yeah, absolutely, and so I think that that Imperial College study was so problematic, and unfortunately allowed people just to sort of take it and run. It allowed the 24/7 news cycle and social media to take off. You get a tremendous amount of disinformation out there. This is the first pandemic, Roy, I would say, of the internet age. Prior to this, when we didn't have such easy access to reports and to data in real time, people may have suffered somewhat from what you call lack of information. It was hard. It took a while to get actual data. The only thing worse than lack of information is disinformation,
yes.
Bad information, wrong information that allows people to believe this junk that you are hearing out there, that people are dying in the streets, or that hospitals are out of ventilators, or that doctors are making decisions about whether patients should be, have a do not resuscitate order because there isn't an ability for them to have an ICU bed or a ventilator. Those things are hooey. They're absolutely not true, but the fact that we have social media and the internet and a 24/7 news cycle allows that sort of hyperbole to be out there, and people become panicked and are reacting out of panic. And that's a real disservice, not only to us socially and psychologically, but economically. It may be forever before we recover from this.
It is, and that's why we have you on the show, because, man, you are the one of the few and stick to your guns. And I'm sure you were getting a lot of heat over this, from the things you were saying. But so far, most, if not everything you've been saying has been proven out to be true on that. Give you about a minute. Anything else you wanted to let anybody know before, because I know time's short on this and you got to run. Anything our folks should be aware of looking to the weekend on this, over this whole thing?
Well, again, I would tell people, I am in no way claiming that this outbreak or this virus itself is in any way a hoax or not real. Absolutely, people are suffering from it. There will undoubtedly be more people who become significantly ill, and we will have more deaths from it in the United States and globally. That said, Roy, we have outbreaks every single year of influenza, from which tens of thousands of Americans succumb and die. We do our best to prevent it. I would tell people to proceed with caution, and if you are in one of those high-risk categories, meaning someone over the age of 65 or who has significant underlying health issues, then you should be cautious. But I would strongly recommend the rest of you get out there, get back to work, get your kids back to school as quickly as possible, as soon as they will open this up. And dang it, let's get back to life as we know it, because this won't be the last coronavirus that comes down the pike.
It is. Thanks a lot for the update, and even more thanks for keeping it real on this whole thing. We'll have you on again next week, because I'm sure over the weekend and stuff, there's going to be more things that are coming out. But again, we really appreciate the facts, not fear, from Dr. Kelly Victory.
Thank you, Kelly.
Absolutely. Be well.
You got it. That's there you go. I mean,
Kevin writes in, yes, definitely agree. And now they're spreading a lot of bad info, or half the info, and causing the panic. Roy.
Yes. Well, and again, people like, I don't know how many, and
You should be giving me 6 feet of distance.
Oh,
Scoot. You're in my space.
The
Scoot.
You think that's going to do anything?
I know, but your leg's in the way.
That will probably mutate me into a bigger...
Jesse, make a move.
of that. No, it's... Again, and you hear the fake news and this, all that, and they come up with this all the time. Oh, so, well, bring out what you think is fake and all the stuff we've been giving you. We've been telling.
We have been getting a lot of heat lately. What's up with that? Who
Well,
did you make mad?
No, it's the disinformation artists, and it's a good thing for you to see. This goes on all the time.
I can't handle it.
Like the dingy broad that was on the
Wow.
on
And
the,
I wonder where we get the hate mail from.
on the
I
Congress
don't know.
floor going hysterical. You can't even make heads. She was
The pink gloves?
Yes, you couldn't make
Those gloves, though,
heads
man.
or tails of what she was saying, and she was probably. Maybe in somewhere she had. I mean, I heard thank you to the to the doctors and stuff that were doing that, which is a legitimate thing. But with the screaming hysterics of what she was going on, she again, you do more harm than good when you're doing that. Let's have a debate about this. Let's bring out the facts of what's going on and the reality of this situation. So we're not hoarding everything from tampons to toilet paper.
Hey, but I found me some tampons, though, so I'm like on cloud 9.
Life's simple little pleasure.
That's why I came in a good mood the other day. What made you so damn happy? I found some tampons.
But
Hey, Jess, did you get those pictures I sent you a minute ago? Or like 10? Okay. Anyways, carry on.
No, what do you got anything? Would you want to roll the pictures up?
Yeah, you can do Cosmic and I'll do Woody's.
Okay. We're gonna do some work to
Okay.
get our economy back together and support some of the businesses that are still on there.
Yeah, any local businesses that do want to reach out, please message
Yes.
me or Roy. I would suggest me because Roy doesn't know how to work a phone for the life of him.
That is correct.
And we'll do a little segment or spot on you towards the end of our show just to help you get some business out there because we'd hate to see any of our local businesses close because we love all of you.
And this is what's on tap. You can get it Cosmic Ice Cream in Moreno Valley. Do you have to wait outside the store to order it, or did they do?
Well,
I mean,
they're
takeout
taking-
ice cream would be a new concept.
They're taking phone orders, and I did put their phone number on the comment section, but they are also doing Postmates as well. I think Postmates delivers, if I have
Okay.
it correctly. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they do. And their menu is on their Instagram page at Cosmic Handcrafted Ice Cream and on Facebook. So you can check out the menu before you go and order. You can call in. They might be taking walk-ins soon. They were kind of like backed off on that for a little bit, like a lot of places did. But I think now they're going to start letting people walk in, and you can place an order inside.
Yeah, I would think. What's the deal of having one person walk in at a time?
Well, so with the girls, they decided that they were going to do phone orders and Postmates. They've already were doing before all
Right.
this happened. So they're getting blasted with phone orders throughout the day. So then if someone walks in, then they're doing the phone orders. It just makes it kind of, I don't know. They're trying to follow the rules, man.
Well, I get that, but I mean, we want to make it as easier as access. We want as many people to enjoy all the great ice cream and everything they have at Cosmic Ice Cream, because everything they have there is absolutely delicious.
It's amazing.
It's that,
Especially the cucumber water.
yes, and yeah, I will go with that. I mean, and most that stuff I don't usually drink, but I actually like their cucumber water. It is actually pretty tasty.
It is.
On that,
And it's
So-
not too sugary either.
No, it's not. That's why I say. That's why I can. That's probably why I like it, because I can't stand, these, the soda pop or any of those overladen corn syrup stuff. And don't get me started on that. We'll be here till 3:00 in the morning.
Jess, can you do the other picture too? The next it. Thank you, sir. Oh, see, there we go.
COVID-19 update. Yes, place.
Well,
your
they're not
order
letting
through
people
Postmates.
dine in. Nobody is.
Yes, nobody is on that, but yeah. I would like to see, if nothing else, take out only, no dine in. So, that's what call them. Their phone number is 951-247-0050. Set them up, make a deal. Maybe you can call in and they'll have it ready, and they'll open the door and hand it to you. I always have to throw something in like that to get your attention. Make sure
I wasn't
our
listening.
audience is not going to sleep on that.
I was snoozing off for a minute while we had the thing.
Well, yeah. Mainly I had to wake up my co-host over here who was drifting.
He bores me. What can I say? I'm only here for Jesse and myself. I'm just kidding. Woody's Restaurant
you're
and
not.
Craft Brewery on the corner of Alessandro and Frederick and Moreno Valley is offering to-go barbecue, burgers, craft beers, and more. The hours are Tuesday through Saturday from noon to 6 p.m. Phone number is 951-409-9088. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Again, I also put the phone number and their information in the comment section on ours, or go to their Facebook page and Instagram and order from them to go. They are offering beers to go.
Yes. So, yeah, get some baby back ribs and get some of their fine handcrafted beers over there at Woody's Brew House, right there at Alessandro and Frederick's on that. On the northeast corner.
I would suggest when they do open back up and everything goes back to normal to head down there, because Wayne himself, the owner of the restaurant, will actually give you a tour to the brewery. Oh my God, I can't say it. Brewery. Say it 3 times fast.
Brewery.
Whatever. Anyways, it's really cool.
Is that what you wanted? I didn't know that's what I heard, brewery. You just needed to stop.
Anyways.
I've
been locked inside for way too long.
You're capturing the butchering the words thing really well.
Crap. Stop turning me into you.
Boy, is that an evil look.
What's that?
I'm glad you got your tampons.
What?
I'd pray tell if you didn't have those, what would happen?
I don't even know what to say to that.
Look, I mean, we gotta have a little fun with this.
Who the hell is having fun here? I'm not. I'm just laughing because I'm scared to do anything other than that. Kevin Green writes in, close to home and great, everything except cucumber. Anything. What? Well, he's not a fan of cucumbers. I still like you, Kevin, I guess.
Maybe.
It's close, but no, Cosmic's great, and he supports them. Go and order Cosmic or Woody's and tell them we sent you.
There you go. Yes, tell me you heard it on IE Newswire Daily.
And maybe they'll give you a high five.
Well, yeah, they'll probably give you a high five anyway.
Or they'll slap you across the face wondering what you're doing.
I hope they're not going to do that.
I love how I always promote
our
show so well.
They will not slap you across the face if you show up.
They won't.
Man, you really know how to bring the customers
I know how to promote.
Yeah.
I'm great at it. It's my calling.
For another week. We'll be back on Monday. Until then,
yeah,
we are gone.
We're gone. It's hot in here.